Prevalant Instruments, Part 10.
Welcome to the lecture series on Carnatic music. In this session, we shall discuss about an interesting instrument, the Gotvadyam. In this session, we shall discuss about an interesting instrument, the Gotvadyam. The following topics are discussed in this session.
Introduction, History, Construction, Tuning, Mode of playing, and renowned Gotvadyam players. Introduction. The Gotvadyam is also known as the Chitraveena. It is one of the finest string instruments of South India. It is also known as Mahanatakaveena. The latter name signifies the loud tones which makes it suitable for playing to large audiences and also its being entitled to be used in dramatic performances including the Gayanatakas and Nrityanatakas. The Gotvadyam lends itself to the playing of the highest and the most difficult type of melodic music. The name Gotvadyam is a derivative name and literally means an instrument played with the help of a chord, meaning stick in Tamil.
History. It is a modern instrument having made its origin in South India about 4 centuries ago. This is proved by the fact that Gotvadyam is not represented in temple sculptures belonging to the period between 7th and 13th century AD. The name Gotvadyam is not found in early treatises. The Telugu poem Sringara Savitri, written by Raghunatha Nayak in the 17th century, refers to this instrument. The idea of using a small stick or a piece of wood to glide over strings on the stringed instruments of the plugged variety is not new in the history of musical instruments. It is more than 2000 years old. In the Amaravati sculptures, we find a small stick in the hands of a harp player. This stick in those days was used to damp the string after it was sounded so that the next note would be clearly heard. Gotvadyam.
Construction. The Gotvadyam is very much like the Veena in shape and construction. It is also made of jackwood. The waxy ledge and the frets are absent. The number of strings in this instrument differs from that of the Veena. It has 5 playing strings instead of 4. 3 strings for keeping the Shruti as well as the time, and in addition 7 sympathetic strings running below the playing strings over the dandi. The sympathetic strings pass over a small bridge beneath the main bridge and over the fingerboard below the main strings. The strings are all attached to the Nagapasam. The pegs for the 4 sympathetic strings are usually found on the player's side. The instrument is played by gliding a cylindrical piece of wood over the strings. This piece of wood is about 4 inches long and half an inch in diameter. It is also called kattai, urulai or kuravi in Tamil. Sometimes the shell of a small coconut emptied of the contents and filled with wax to give it weight and stability is used instead of the cord. This is called kudukkai. Presently, cord made of Teflon are used. There are 3 varieties of Gotvadyam. Ekanda Gotvadyam. This is made from a single block of wood. Ekadandi. Here, the bowl and the dandi are of one piece, while the head piece is a separate block of wood. The ordinary Gotvadyam, where the bowl, dandi, and headpiece are made of separate blocks of wood and joined together. Tuning. Of the 5 playing strings, the 2 nearest to the player are called sarani. The other 3 are mantara panchama, mandra shadja, and anumandram panchama. The pakkasarani is tuned to the notes madhyamasa, madhyamapa, tarasa as in veena. The sympathetic strings, which run parallel and under the main strings over the dandi, are usually tuned to the Hari Kamboji Mela or to the scale of the raga that is being played. Presently, 6 main strings and 12 sympathetic strings are used. Mode of playing. Gotuvadyam is placed on the floor in front of the artist and played. The kode is held in the left hand between the thumb and the first and second fingers and glided over the strings. As in the case of violin, since there are no frets or other markings for the swarasthanas, the students have to be guided solely by ear and by his knowledge of the correct swarasthanam. After acquainting himself with the position of the swaras, the students learn to produce gamakas by manipulation. The characteristic tone of the gotuvadyam is produced by the upward and downward glide of the kode. These gamakas are very important and are known as Etarajaru and Irakkarajaru in Tamil. In the first case, beginning from a lower swarasthanam, the kode is glided up to the required note. In the latter, the note is obtained by sliding the kode from the higher position to the particular desired note. This is done in such a way that though the intermediary notes are touched, their individuality is not revealed at all. Some other gamakas are produced by varying the tension of the string by pressing it slightly and gently downwards. This gives a certain amount of depth and richness to the notes. Passages in quick time can be played only when the artist has acquired a good amount of rapidity in using the kode. This depends wholly on perseverance and constant practice. There are 2 methods of playing the jantaswaras. One is by plectra technique, that is, by placing the kode on the required note and then plucking the string twice, thus producing the double notes. The second method is more difficult. Here, the string is plucked only once and the kode is moved from its swarasthanam to its lower note and then brought back to its original position. Thus, for playing sa-sa, the kode is played at sa and moved down to ni and is again brought back to sa. This will be heard as sa ni sa. In the same way, other swaras are played. It is possible to play a series of jantaswaras by plucking the strings just once. The right hand technique is the same as in the veena. The index finger and the middle finger alternatively strike the strings downwards while the little finger strikes the tala strings. Sometimes the mandra and sarani are struck simultaneously by the first finger and the second finger, and the kode is glided over the strings, thus producing music in parallel octaves. When this is done in appropriate places, a very pleasing effect is created. It is not possible to acquire a high degree of speed in gotuvadyam due to the nature and manner of playing. But a brilliant effect can be produced by playing the Vilambita Kala pieces. The compass of the gotuvadyam extends over the 4 octaves. This is due to the absence of frets, since it is possible to move further towards the bridge. The Gotuvadyam has a very rich and loud tone, so it is well suited for playing for large audiences. The reason for this is fourfold. The absence of metal frets considerably decreases the weight of the instrument, thus enabling the kudam, dandi and other parts to vibrate more freely, thereby resulting in a greater volume of tone. The absence of ledge made of wax ensures a free vibration of the dandi, thus producing a richer tone. In the Gotuvadyam, the waxy ledge is not necessary as there are no frets. The reason for the soft tone of the veena may be attributed to these two factors: the existence of frets which increase the weight of the instrument, thus deadening vibration, and the presence of the waxy ledge which acts as a kind of damper on the dandi for the instrument. In this instrument, the playing strings are always kept in high tension while being played. In the veena, since the strings have to be deflected for producing the various gamakas, the strings are kept in medium tension. But in the Gotuvadyam, the gamakas are played by rapidly varying the speaking length of the wire, and it has to be kept at a higher pitch. This is also conducive to the production of a greater volume of sound. Lastly, the sympathetic strings, which vibrate in sympathy when the instrument is played, results in giving a considerably greater volume of tone of the music. Thus, the richness and loudness of the sound produced by the Gotuvadyam may be attributed to these four factors. Apart from being a fine Sangeeta Vadya, it can also be used for demonstration of musical facts and laws such as the Dvi-gunatva and the Tri-gunatva of notes of the harmonic series. Gotuvadyam Srinivasa Rao was the first person to take this instrument and achieve proficiency in it. His son, Sakaram Rao, proved superior to his father by his fine and polished rendering of kritis. It was further popularized by Mysore Narayana Iyengar in 1990 at the Music Academy Conference. The name of this instrument was accepted as Chitraveena. In the north, the counterpart of this instrument is the Vichitraveena, renowned Gotuvadyam players. The Gotuvadyam was popularized in South India by Sakaram Rao of Thiruvidaimarudur. It was later taken up and further popularized by Gotuvadyam Narayan Iyengar, who was a palace musician of the old state of Mysore. His grandson, Gotuvadyam N. Ravikiran, 1967, plays the instrument and is the inventor of a variant, the Navagotuvadyam. Other exponents of the instrument include Budalur Krishnamurti Shastri, A. Narayana Iyer, Mannargudi Savitri Ammal, Allam Kotishwara Rao, M. V. Varahaswamy, Allam Durga Prasad, and Gotuvadyam Ganesh. Sita Doraiswamy, known more as a Jalatarangam artist, plays both the Gotuvadyam and the Balakokila, a smaller version of the Gotuvadyam.
Thus, having discussed about a unique instrument, we conclude this session here. With this session, we come to end with the chapter on musical instruments. Thank you.